Welcome to this tutorial, Introduction to Working with Point Clouds in Rhino 3D. In this tutorial I'll be introducing you to the basic tools and workflow needed for creating 3D models from point clouds. What is a point cloud? A point cloud is a collection of vertexes with each one representing an XYZ coordinate in space. These are generally produced by 3D imaging systems such as laser scanners and 3D photogrammetry. Most scanners these days are full colour, so each measured point not only has an XYZ coordinate but also a colour or RGB value. Rhino has been able to read point clouds since version 5. And now imports the vendor-neutral E57 format. I'll start by importing an E57 point cloud into Rhino by simply dragging it into a view window. And the file options, I'm just going to select Import File and hit OK. Depending on the size of your point cloud, it can take a little while to actually load into view. And there it is. It's got the yellow color because it's still selected. So if I click away from it anywhere, now you can see that it's in true color. As I said, each one of these points is a coordinate in space. Each one has an XYZ value, and in this case each one also has a color RGB value. We have our point cloud in Rhino. Where do we actually start? How do we go about working with this this data set? So one of the most useful tools in Rhino is a combination of clipping planes and a mobile construction plane. This is one approach that I use in my work every day. It enables you to trace construction lines directly from the point cloud by slicing through it. So I'll just go through this step by step. First of all, I'm just going to go to a top view and then anywhere in the top view away from the point cloud. I am going to create a clipping plane. So I'm just typing clip in there and you'll see that it comes up with the full command. Click on that. It's asking me for the first corner of the rectangle. So I'm just clipping anywhere there, dragging down and clipping the bottom end of it. And you can see that it's created this rectangle. So if I go to a perspective view, you'll notice that the top of the windmill is missing. If I grab the gumball on the clipping plane and drag it up and down, you can see that it's clipping through the point cloud. The direction that it will clip is indicated by this leader. So you can see that everything below the rectangle in that direction is visible and everything above it is hidden. Clipping planes will clip any object in Rhino. They're extremely handy for isolating parts of an object, so you can focus in on that. What I'm going to do is copy this clipping plane. So I'll just select it here. So Control C, Control V. So now I've got another clipping plane in exactly the same place. And I'm going to move it downwards and then type flip So you can see now that I have two clipping planes with each one in a different direction, and you can see the effect that that's had on the point cloud. I'm now only getting a thin slice if I drag these two clipping planes up and down. I can adjust the thickness of that slice simply by moving the clipping plane to the required thickness. What I want to be able to do is use these clipping planes to enable me to be able to trace this point cloud. Now at the moment I can't do that because the coordinate system, the construction plane, is set at 0, 0, 0, which is below this somewhere. So what I'm going to do is just go to a top view, and I'm going to just draw a rectangle going from, I'll just turn my snaps on, from one end of the clipping plane down to the other end of the clipping plane. And there's my selection. If I go to a front view, you can see that that rectangle is on the upper clipping plane. So what I'm going to do is drag that down to approximately the middle, and then go back to a top view. And now I'm going to go to C-planes and mobile construction plane. It's giving me these options. I'm going to choose attach, and it's asking me for the origin, which I'll put at this bottom corner here, and it's asking for the X direction, or press enter to accept default. So I'm just going to press enter to accept default. If I press F7, you can see that I'll just zoom in on that, you can see that the construction plane 0, 0, 0 is on the bottom corner of the rectangle that we drew. Now, I'm just going to group these together, just using group, and you can see now that when I move this up and down, the slice moves through the point cloud, and the origin also moves with the group. And when I draw a curve, I'll just draw a curve, just randomly, turn snaps off. It will be exactly aligned to the construction plane. Okay, I'll just delete that line here. If I go to a top view, I'm just going to quickly bash in a line just so you get an idea of how it works. Very rough. Just very quickly. And if I select all of that, and just go back to a perspective view, you can see that it's approximately in the right place. Where that line actually went, I can disable the clipping planes using the disable clipping plane command, and then if I zoom in here, you can see that I've put the line about 350 mil above probably where I should have put it, but you get the idea. That's where you would start to construct this model. The other thing that you can do as well is, if I rotate this up to vertical, I'm just turning that and holding shift at the same time so it snaps. Then I can move it over, go to a top view, and move it to approximately the center, and rotate it so it's sort of bisecting the mill from front to back. Let's go back to a perspective view and just turn the clipping plane back on again using enable clipping plane command, and you can see that it gives me a very nice section through the mill. I can then go to a front view and basically trace off the point cloud again, and then do a revolve to get the body of the mill. Go to layers and just switch that on, and then hide the point cloud. Here's a line that I prepared earlier. I will also disable the clipping plane, select these lines, type revolve, select the end of that line, the axis, and there you have the body of the mill. I must have selected an extra line out here somewhere, so I'll just get rid of that. And you can see that that does a pretty good job of the interior and exterior walls. If I unhide the point cloud again, you can see, I'll just zoom in a bit there, that it has done a pretty close representation of the surface of that mill. And then you can just keep continuing using normal Rhino modelling methods, from lofting lines, extruding lines, etc., to build the rest of the mill. Another thing that you can do to make working a little bit more precise is, you can see the construction plane there, is go to set view and plan view of C-plane. So no matter how you've aligned your mobile construction plane, this will set the view perpendicular to that. Just makes life a bit easier. Now sometimes the mobile construction plane can detach itself from your clipping group. The way to get around that is to use the mplane command. So I'm just running that command now. It's asking me to select the object, which is the original rectangle that we drew. And now you're seeing attach, detach, modify, refresh, and show. So we're just going to use refresh, and that should put your construction plane back into your clipping group in the position that you originally placed it. There are also the old original sort of legacy point cloud tools that Rhino's had for quite some time. I'm just going to delete my clipping planes and mobile construction plane and all the rest of it. So that'll just bring me back to my original point cloud. So if I type point cloud into the prompt, you can see it's giving me the choices of add, remove, use point colors, yes. So for example, if I want to cut out this little block here, I can go remove, and it'll say select point cloud. So I'll just click on the point cloud, and you might have seen it just briefly flash there for a second, and now it's saying select points to remove. So I'm just going to draw, actually I'm just going to hold Alt so it doesn't pick the very first point that I click on, and I'm just going to drag a window over that, and you can see that it's gone yellow, and then I'm just going to hit enter. And this can take a little bit of time. It's doing a pretty huge calculation. You can see that it's still yellow. If I just click on the original total point cloud, you can see that this part is no longer selected. If I click back on that, then I can hide that, for example, and it hasn't been deleted, it's just been separated out of the point cloud. I'll just bring that back. If I want to add that back again, it's just the reverse process. So just go point cloud, and now it's saying add. So it's saying select points. Actually, I'll just press add first. Select point clouds to add. So I want to add that one. Hit enter and select my target point cloud, which is my original large point cloud, and hit enter. And you can see now, if I just exit out of that, that this is the whole point cloud again. It's joined it back. And if you're wondering why you would want to do that, if I was wanting to model say this cardboard box, I'll just deselect that. This cardboard box inside this point cloud, I can separate that out by itself to work on it. So it's quite a good editing tool. Another very handy tool in sort of the legacy set of point cloud tools in Rhino is plane fitting. So for example, if I want to fit a plane to, say, the back of this block here, I'm just making sure that there's actually no point cloud in behind it there, so I'm just getting this sort of angle here. Then I can use the plane through point command. So it's asking me select points, point clouds and meshes to fit a plane. If I just click anywhere on here, it's going to select the entire point cloud, and it won't successfully fit a plane through it. It'll be a mess. So what I'm going to do is, you'll probably remember that if you use Control Shift and then a window select, it'll sub-select parts of the main object, and that works with point clouds as well. In this case, I'm going to press Alt Control Shift. So the Alt is so it doesn't select the very first point that I click on, and I'm going to drag just a selection window like that. And you'll see that that has gone yellow by itself. I'll just rotate that so you can sort of see what's going on. And then hit Enter. And you can see that it has fitted a plane precisely through the middle of all those points. This is a great way of, quickly drawing walls in a building, or floors, or any of that sort of that stuff where you need planes quite quickly. Point clouds are snappable, so you can just draw any lines that you want. If I turn on the point snap, you'll see that it's actually picking an individual point along the edge of the concrete there. The performance of Rhino will slow down dramatically. You can see that it's trying to select which one of those sort of thousands of millions of points that it needs to click on. You can hold down Alt while you're in there to be able to just quickly maneuver and then go to the next place that you want to draw to. There's another method, if I just escape out of that, and this is quite elegant as well. For example, if I wanted to draw down the corner of this building, if I just zoom in on it quite nicely, I can use the line through point command. So it's saying select points and meshes to fit line through. So the same process before, Alt Control Shift, and then you can just select what you think is the corner of the building, and then just press Enter. And you'll see that it's best fit a line through the points there. The accuracy of the line will depend on the density of the point cloud, and also how well you sort of pick that group of points. It can be a hell of a lot quicker than manually fishing around trying to find which point is actually on the corner of a building. It's a great tool. I hope that this working with point clouds in Rhino has been a useful tutorial, and I look forward to bringing you more comprehensive modelling tutorials using point clouds in the near future.